Hi, everybody. I originally wanted to come to you today with something that I wanted to call Wacky Wednesday, a chance to reconnect with your inner child, and just like give myself and hopefully you space to explore being silly, explore um, playing, explore being a little less serious, a little bit more curious, and having a little bit more fun on Wednesday, on Hump Day. But instead, I'm going to go down a little more serious, a little darker, more important conversation. It's important to me personally, and it's important to a lot of women. And it, I'm bringing this up because I just got a call from a client who's facing this issue, and it's a story that victims of abuse repeat often, and it's receiving some national attention with the murder of Gabby Petito, the social media blogger, and hopefully I didn't say her name wrong, but if I did, I apologize. But I just want to have a conversation about domestic abuse. And this is important to me because most women and some men have experienced it, whether it's in childhood or as an adult. Um, and it's a cycle. Usually, often you find that the abusers have been abused as children, and that the abused have been abused as children. And it's time to break the cycle. Um, and one of the important components of breaking the cycle, there's two I want to talk about today. One is awareness of what domestic abuse is, and the other one is the role of law enforcement and training, proper training and repercussions of law enforcement, of when they are actively shown to support the abuser because of whatever their internal dialogue is. That's what they choose to do. But the first is, let's talk about domestic abuse and what it is. It is quite literally one person seeking power and control. Let me repeat that very clearly. It's one person seeking power and control over another person. This could be through manipulation. It is typically through manipulation. It is through a variety of abuses, which include very often financial abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, sexual abuse, spiritual abuse, and then finally it usually leads to physical abuse. It doesn't start with physical abuse. People, I hear all the time, why does she stay in the relationship? And it's because it doesn't start with physical abuse. And it starts very subtly. It's subtle. It's not an instant thing. It involves a whole lot of gaslighting to get somebody who is usually a very strong, sensitive, kind person to doubt their reality, and doubt that people will believe them, and doubt that they did something wrong, not the actual abuser. And I hear a lot of women and men. I just want to be clear, like women and men, there is abusive women out there. The difference is, and the reason I'm talking about this more from the woman's side is, it's just statistically, a woman is more likely to suffer physical abuse and death at the hands of a partner than vice versa. So that's why there tends to be a little bit more emphasis on the woman's perspective. But you know, an abusive woman can really destroy somebody's life, because, you know, if I break a bone, that can heal. That heals in about 6 weeks with proper care. If somebody is abusing, abusing psychologically and emotionally, playing head games with you, and really creating those deep, lasting scars that are hard to get to, that are hard to heal, that takes years to heal, not weeks. It takes years. And then people don't see the abuse. They don't see the damage. They think everything's fine. So they don't always believe that it's happened, or want to believe, or want to hear about it. They think that's where they got the drama queen. Like, they don't want to hear about it. And that's well and good. But sometimes, in order to increase awareness, people need to speak up. Not when they're in a place of vulnerability, where they're endangered, but once we're in safety, it's time to speak out, because it's not that we're in victim mode. It's just we've got to stop the cycle of abuse. So, first, understand that if you are in a relationship where you're doubting your sanity, where you're being told that what you experienced isn't real, or that your memory of something is not true, and that your friends or your families or whatever are slowly being withdrawn from your life because your partner is finding fault with them and are isolating you, or they're controlling your money, or they're controlling you sexually by forcing you to, like, they're trying to get you to have kids so that you're always at home with the kids, or they're not having sex with you, or whatever. It's just about power and control, whatever it is. And usually the manipulative abuser is really just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. It seems like they're really in control, but really they're just creating chaos in your life enough that you are having trouble finding your footing. So if you feel like you're walking on eggshells and you're doubting your own sanity, you might want to talk to a professional and find out, really explore whether or not you're in an abusive relationship, because chances are you are in some way. And whether or not that relationship can be worked on or not is something to explore with a professional that has experience with domestic abuse. Not just any and every therapist or psychiatrist is geared to work with this. I would recommend calling the domestic violence hotline. You can go to the website. It's a national hotline. Go to them, call them. They'll give you a local resource that are experts in this, and they can do an evaluation on you, and with you, to determine whether or not you're experiencing, something that would be classified as abuse, or to what level, and help you with a plan of how to proceed forward. And it's available for men and women. So if you are a man who feels like you're being abused as well, give them a call, because it's really not necessarily about punishing the abuser. It's really about making the person being abused safe. So please, if you're experiencing that, seek help. Now the second topic of discussion really needs to evolve around what I have seen in some places as a pattern of further victimization of the abused by police. And I get it. They don't know the situation when they walk into a domestic abuse call of who has done what. But chances are, if they're walking into a call and you've got one person that's screaming hysterically, and then the other one is calm and saying, see, look, so-and-so is crazy. It's usually the person that's hysterical is the victim, not the abuser. And I don't understand where the training has fallen down around this, but the person being abused is going to be the one experiencing signs of trauma. They're going to have trauma response. And to treat the person that's going through trauma response as a perpetrator is a crime. It should be a crime. It's not really a crime, but it's just a serious injustice that we need to address. And if that is more training around the subject of domestic abuse and how to recognize trauma response with the police force, then it needs to happen, because the fact that you can see police joking with the man repeatedly. I no longer live in Manatee County, Florida, where there are repeated cases of the police Baker acting the woman because she's hysterical and has issues, while they're joking with the man, while they're testifying on behalf of the man. And the man is using malicious abusive process to further seek power and control over that victim. And I don't know whether the police, have this story in their head that men are unfairly charged or that women are crazy. I don't know what it is, but it needs to stop nationwide, and it specifically needs to stop with Manatee County. I don't know about the rest of Florida, but stop Baker acting women for being abused and showing trauma response, which is the response that people naturally show when they're in danger. So anyway, I'm sorry for such a serious topic on my Wacky Wednesday. Not so Wacky Wednesday. But I'm not going to apologize for speaking out. We need to speak out. We need to band together. Men and women need to expect more, and we need to get the word out on this topic, because trauma response does not make you crazy. Trauma response is not proof that you are the abuser. Trauma response is how we automatically respond to danger. We're going to be adrenalized. We're going to be hysterical. We're going to be upset. We're not going to make sense all the time. So, if you want to talk more about this, if you are a victim of abuse or feel that you might be, you can DM me and we can talk. I can help you, guide you to find the support you need. Go to thehotline.org, which is the National Domestic Abuse Hotline. Give them a call. Find your local resource center, your local domestic abuse resource center, and I want to remind you that it is available for men and women. It's not just, it's both. And it's available to, LGBT as well. It's available to everybody who's experiencing it. So please, if you are even remotely concerned and think that you might be manipulated, reach out and get help and guidance on this. So again, hopefully next Wednesday will be a little more wacky. Maybe later in the day I might be a little more wacky. I don't know. But as far as connecting to my inner child, I'm trying to protect all our inner children and speak out to end the cycle of abuse. And thank you for spending time with me and paying attention to this very important subject. Thank you. Bye.